Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tea Girls Pod. Why should you watch us? We are two rowdy, professional, moderate trans women with a lot of opinions on the issues of the day. We're big fans of common sense and we hate crazy people on every side of the issue. My name is Nalea. I am a TikToker. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a professional woman and I like long walks on the beach and very attractive men. This is my co-worker. This is my co-host, Dani. Dani, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you, work wife. My name is Dani. I'm a 32-year-old trans woman from Boston, Massachusetts. Things about me: leg days are my favorite thing. I love martinis, and I'm excited to talk about the news that we've been having the past few weeks for this episode.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about Diddy. We're going to be playing Would You Rather, Trans Edition. We'll be talking about various issues. And before we get into that, I'm going to catch up with you on your weekend because it's Saturday when we're recording this. A lot has happened. I'm a blonde woman now, brown girl blonde. And, word on the street is you went on a date last night. So I would like to start by hearing about that.
Okay, yeah, let's get into that. So, go to my favorite bar, Lolita. So, how I've told you before, I typically do the opposite of what most people do. I will sit down for dinner and drinks. We just did drinks this time on Friday night. Um, yeah,
Nice.
so switching it up. Um, Went to my favorite bar, Lolita, in the Seaport, and it was great. We went to another bar. We were vibing, and then for everyone in Boston will know this. We went to Bova's late night, which is a bakery that is open 24/7. So
Sure.
great. Yeah, it was a great date overall.
Okay, so we were vibing. I think in the last episode, we were talking about like dating qualifications. So,
hmm
which ones did this guy meet and which ones did he not meet?
So he was bucking the trend. He was a short king. So
Ah, yes.
he was 5'7". Um, and what else about this man? Also into day trading, crypto. So we were vibing a lot on that, and he was like very empathetic, like a very empathetic person, which was really nice to see. Like he was up to date with like Stoicism, Buddhism. He was like very well versed in that. So that was very refreshing to see from like a late 20s man.
Okay, a little bit younger as well.
hmm
That is awesome. I'm a big like Stoicism person as well, Buddhism person as well. So I think talking about philosophy is very important. I could kind of like sense that you're like a little bit into that stuff too. So I'm glad you found a good date. I'm imagining like envisioning a future where like because fun fact for everybody's listening, me and Dani are like internet friends. So we're and real friends, but we haven't met in real life yet, and I'm really excited. So I'm imagining me, my like handsome marine man that I'm destined to be with, and then you and a man, and we're going on a double date, and I'm using my highest voice possible, and nobody clocks us, and we're having a great time in Boston. That's my fucking fantasy.
I love it. That's a great fantasy. It's gonna happen. We're gonna make it happen this summer.
Okay, so I have a controversial like thing I want to talk to you about, and I've been trying to go back and forth about it. Okay,
Okay.
so specifically, I wanted to get your opinions on Jeffrey Marsh. I know that we're a pro Dylan podcast
Mhm.
because Dylan is a musician. She's like a big trans celebrity, and I think she's got a lot of unnecessary hate. But Jeff Marsh, I have some different vibes on. So I want you to tell me how you feel about him and why.
So, did Jeffrey do anything like newsworthy recently, or?
he made a video about Blair White basically calling him disgusting, and his response to it was very compassionate. His response was like, this is happening because trans people feel in danger, and this shouldn't be happening. Then Buck Angel responded to that video. So I watched all of Jeffrey Marsh's video. It was perfectly pleasant. I mean, he was, he's non-binary, but he calls himself trans all the time,
Hmm.
which I don't like that, but I accept it. Um, so then Buck Angel responds to it, and he's like, "Listen, I don't know much about you, um, but what I can tell you is I think it's creepy that so much of your videos have been an invitation for children to join your Patreon and to talk to children. We don't need somebody to be talking directly to children, especially if they have creepy vibes. This is him saying this. Especially if they have creepy vibes and you do. That's basically what Buck Angel said. And again, I thought Buck was respectful, and I think he hit the bullseye. I like Jeff is one of those people that I'm open to the fact that he might be a totally nice guy, but I've seen a few of his videos where he's talking about going no contact with your parents and talking specifically either talking to somebody's inner child or literally children, and they for sure make me uncomfortable.
Yeah, from what I've seen of his content, like I haven't seen a ton of it, right? But from the clips I have seen, like I do get pretty uncomfortable watching his stuff. It's just like it seems creepy to me. Like I I don't get like the lipstick and eyeshadow with leaving the full beard and like doing a falsetto voice or I don't know. That's just weird to me. And then you're saying like he says no contact with the parents. Like you should be making every like every opportunity to you should be taking advantage of every opportunity to heal things over with your parents, right? And then eventually you'll come to the point and you realize like probably they're just not capable of being the people that you need them to be, but you need to make that effort. I just don't think going cold turkey from your parents, especially when you're uh like preteen or teenager, like I think that's so inappropriate. But yeah, I agree with Buck that I don't know, I do get creepy vibes with him, and I didn't know that like he was like pitching his Patreon to kids to like subscribe and talk with in private. That's a little weird. Um,
Well, I think he does life coaching, and it's like, you got to be aspirational for to do that first and foremost. But on top of that, he looks like Salad Fingers, that creepy cartoon from the like mid 2000s. Salad Fingers, that's what he gives me. And so I just want like from an optics point of view, from a marketing point of view, since we both work in marketing and sales, I just feel like transgender people, drag queens, if you work with children right now, fucking stop. Now's not a good time. You know what I mean? Especially if you're in a red state. They are using that footage to paint us as child molesters. The fact of the matter is, most of the people who are actually diddling children belong in the church. They belong
mhm.
to people's families. 30% of the time, when a child gets molested, it happens with somebody in the family. 90% of the time, it happens with people that they know. Transgender people and drag queens are not responsible for touching people inappropriately. We do not do those things. However, if people have that perception, there's a certain way you need to conduct yourself to battle that perception, right? And so I just wish more people would engage in those methods. And Jeffrey Marsh has a little bit of a suspect look about him. So I'm like, don't talk to kids. If just don't talk to kids.
Have you watched Quiet on the Set yet?
Have I watched it? I'm obsessed with it. It is like out of control. I'm assuming you have too.
I just started this morning, so I'm like two episodes in, and it's like very disturbing to know that all that was going on, like behind the scenes, watching these shows as a kid. And with, like, just imagine that's happening in Hollywood frequently. So, like, yeah, obviously, anyone in a position is, if anyone in a position of power is going to be capable of taking advantage of others. And that's why, to your point, like, the optics matter, especially now more than ever, where it's not a good look and things can be misconstrued, even, if, I don't know, it's it's creepy, and like it's really sad that that shit happens. So yeah, it's very disturbing.
I get comments all the time when I make conversations like this. I get comments all the time that are like, respectability politics don't work. And yesterday, I got mad enough to the point where I said, that is a fucking lie. Gandhi's method of enacting change in India was respectability politics. MLK's method of changing things in the US was respectability politics. Gay marriage got legalized in the US because of respectability politics. Barack Obama was the product of respectability politics. Now, is it fair that we have to be excellent and better than everybody else and more articulate and more put together in order to for us to function in this society? It is not fair. But life is not fair. And we just have to be fucking realistic at this point. Like whatever the transgender community is doing to advance its politics right now is failing. What worked was Laverne Cox, was Janet Mock, was Pose on FX. Those are the types of stories that humanized us. Those representatives humanized us. Right now, what's happening is hurting us. And of course, I put more blame on the conservative establishment for attacking us for votes and views. 100%. But that's not to say that we can't do anything to improve this situation.
This is also a product of pendulum swings, right? So when conservatives will go up to bat each legislative session with more and more anti-trans, anti-LGBTQ bills, it seems like the trans community gets more and more rabid, and I think a little bit more crazy. Which, like,
Yeah.
yeah, like the community is under a ton of stress, a ton of stress. Like, I get that, but um, like now's the most important time to keep your wits about you when all of this is going on.
We need like a trans NAACP or some sort of like advocacy group that is organized a little bit. I think the HRC does a good job, but they're not really trans focused, you
Hmm.
know? I just feel like having a little bit more organized communication would be helpful. But at the same time, there are plenty. We posted a video on our Instagrams about trans women having periods, and the comments under there are just they're they're out of control, you know? Like, so we got to work on ourselves a little bit too.
Yeah, I've never seen something like so fractured, like the trans
Yeah.
community. And when you try and have a talking point, like, and there was a little bit of a like comedic tone to our video, but like we're talking about like something that trans women like actually believe that they have. Like, come on, like it's not real. And
Yeah.
when you start talking about these points, you're just going to be called a turf or a transphobe, or like, I loved one of them said, "Why are you transplaining?"
Yeah, I saw that one. Shut the fuck up. Like, we got you have to diffuse. Listen, I'm not trying to be mean, and neither is Danny. We just have to be able to discuss this stuff openly with some humor because it's funny, you know. And I think if we all kind of had that approach, it would help the conversation be a little bit lighter.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. Um, but okay, Nalia, I wanted to get into some news stories.
Okay.
First one I wanted to cover. Did you hear that Gotham has a new villain in town?
I did hear such a thing. I'm hoping you're talking about the same person that I'm thinking about. Who are you referring to?
So he's known as the Diddler. Yes, the Diddler has arrived in Gotham. So children and emasculated rappers, beware. He is armed. He was missing, but I saw on Twitter that he popped up in Miami again. So, yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts on this first. This is a wild, wild story.
Well, first of all, I was looking at a mugshot yesterday, and the comments under the mugshot were all saying that that was his clone who got caught. I
Okay.
saw that he was partying in Miami. At one point, I saw that he was like trying to get away from the US for a vacation. I'm seeing a lot of stuff, but I have a lot of mixed feelings. One of them is, oh, look, yet another like child molester, not trans. And then the other thought is like, wow, yet another like ring of pedophiles, like another Hollywood pedophile story. Like the stuff that people have been saying about that stuff has been true. And it just makes me very uncomfortable with children working in media at all because it's just so easy to abuse them. And it's like the parents, it's like, where the fuck were you guys? You guys were like enabling this stuff or looking the other way a lot of times. Like I don't know, it's really infuriating. Like I'm reading stuff about Usher, I'm reading stuff about Justin Bieber, I'm
Mhm.
seeing stuff about Amanda Bynes. Like they're all traumatized, and it looks like a lot of it comes top down.
I saw this clip on Twitter. I'm not sure if you've seen this one, but P. Diddy did a cameo on all that when Schneider was there. And the scene starts with one kid lying on a couch, sleeping, and then two kids pouring like milky white substance on this kid, right? And then they go over to Diddy, like asking Diddy how they can haze this kid even more. Diddy gives the kids a helicopter, and they put the helicopter down the kid's pants, and then they go back and get the remote control from Diddy and like start spinning the propellers, and the kid jumps up. Like, how was this stuff on Nickelodeon? Like,
Yeah,
how?
he needs to go straight to jail. I cannot with that.
Like, who? I don't understand like how Schneider was able to get away with stuff like that for so long on a kids network. Like it is it the money? Like those shows bringing in so much money, or the Nielsen ratings? Like what was it?
Yeah, sitting up there like an unroasted turkey asking for fucking like massages every day from the women of the office. Schneider also like tried to pay two women one salary, and he has
Hmm.
the audacity to sit up there and make excuses about this stuff. Like, get the fuck out of here. But the one thing that he did say recently that I'm like, okay, let's see it, or if it was said or implied, I'm not sure. But he was like, if I'm going down, then all of Nickelodeon is coming down with me. And I'm like, bring it down then. We can't allow for this sort of stuff to happen. Um, I hope that the collapse of these institutions do like get us to a point where we're more ethical in how we treat people in that industry because it feels very unregulated to me.
Yeah, and just to circle back to Diddy, like with like him grooming Usher, and then Bieber was that was a certain rumor and allegation that I've heard. Like it's happening everywhere. So like I don't think this is going to be the end of it from what we see in 2024. Like I think a lot more shit is going to be coming out.
Yeah, I agree. Transgender people, for everybody listening, not groomers. I grew my hair, I grew my body, but I ain't around children. Okay. So you guys need to have that discussion there and go legislate laws against those people. Diddy and Usher and Dan Schneider, go legislate those people. If with all of this evidence in the next 6 months, I don't see any new laws protecting the kids from that, then everybody's a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, any final words on that or next story?
I'm ready for the next story.
Okay, so are you a rap fan at all?
Am I a rap fan? Pull up in the Sri Lanka, bitch. I am a big rap fan, huge rap fan, especially of female rap specifically. I used to be really into male rap as well, but definitely female rap. Why?
Okay, so um, King Cornball himself, Drake, was roasted by Kendrick, who many consider the GOAT at this present moment in the rap game. So it was on a Metro Boomin and Future album, and the song is called Like That. Have you heard this song yet?
I've seen a few clips of people talking about the song on TikTok.
Okay, so just a little backstory. Drake and J. Cole released a song last year saying that the big three are Aubrey, J. Cole, and Kendrick. So Kendrick clapped back in this song with Future in Metro saying, there's no big three, it's just big me, basically. Um, and I guess this has definitely been like the biggest diss so far, but this is going back like a decade to a song that Kendrick did with Big Sean called Control, where Kendrick's calling out everyone, literally everyone. So it's I don't know. I think in general this is good for rap, and like I'm excited to see if Drake actually responds to it.
This is hard because I love J. Cole, but he's on the same sign as Drake the Diddler, right? Drake got caught
Mm-hmm.
texting Millie Bobby Brown, so he needs to be up with Diddy in jail. Not into that. I love me some J. Cole. It's surprising that they're on the same team because I heard there was beef between them, which I understand why they would be. They're serving similar flavors for sure. And then on the other hand, I haven't forgiven Future for what he did to Sierra. I'm not a Future fan. I'm like, ew. And Drake and Future, however I feel about both of them, made great music together. So that's like something. And then Kendrick is, of course, like of still problematic, but of all of the men there, he's the best. Which side is Kanye on? Do you know?
Uh, Adolf West, I think, is neutral in this situation.
Not Adolf West, please. I cannot. I think I saw a picture online. We'll try to put it in the editing here, but it was like a Marvel poster of all of the rappers, and it was like Drake and J. Cole and 21 Savage on one side, and then like Metro Boomin and Future and Kendrick and a bunch of people, and it was like a Marvel poster. Very funny.
We definitely think that Drake is a pedo, though, right?
Um, maybe. I mean, he's definitely done some inappropriate things. I don't think he treats women particularly well. I like some of his music. It is yet to be determined for me. I try not to judge people too harshly until the legal cases get involved because it's easy to make an accusation. But he was texting her. That's weird. Like I would. I'm 32 right now. I would never. I have zero interest in corresponding with anybody
Mm-hmm.
like under the age of like even 23 at this point. I'm like, what do I have to say to you? Like, I don't know, but certainly nobody under 18. Like, I have nothing to say to anybody under 18.
Um, he has this wicked suspect line in one of his songs. It was like one of his older songs. I forget the name, but it goes like your high school pics, you was bad back then. It's something like that. So like he's talking about like these high schoolers being hot. I think is it
Yeah,
nice for what? Is that the song that I'm thinking of?
I know what you're talking about. That
Yeah.
that didn't strike me as like particularly weird. But I mean, he's done weird shit before. He's weird in plenty of other ways, and he's a fellow Scorpio, so I know he's like just like me, evil on the inside. So, however charming he may be to other people.
I just think he's such a cornball too. Like he's so goofy to me. I don't know. Hot take. I think he's overrated.
I don't know if that's a hot take. I think a lot of people feel that way about him, and I genuinely do enjoy a lot of his music, or I used to, anyways. But I agree, he's a Canadian actor that was on Degrassi that speaks in a fake Jamaican accent that is, Jewish and half white, but tries to do the gangster stuff. It's like it doesn't come off as very real to me.
Yeah. I mean, like, me saying he's overrated, like, does not mean that he's bad. Like, he's a good rapper, but like, I just don't think like he's on that top pedestal like a lot of people put him there. Like, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
it's I think there's way better rappers out there right now, at least. So,
Jay-Z is
um,
on my top list, and I saw this really disturbing TikTok about Jay-Z this weekend where it was like, again, you cannot trust any of these things, but with the Diddy stuff happening, anything is possible. The
mhm.
word on the street is he got somebody pregnant and then had her killed. Yeah. I
some
will play the TikTok for you, but this is, I mean, I just don't put anything past anybody at this point. Not right now.
that's some Bill and Hillary Clinton shit right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
Hillary Clinton, as they call her.
Lock her up, Nalia.
Look her.
Okay,
Yeah.
so before we get into our well, first, do you have any final words on that?
Uh, yeah. Everybody behave and be good Christian women like me and Danny.
Uh actually no. No more. I actually have one more thought on this.
Okay.
Have you had any internet beef before? Like, you are a huge presence on TikTok. So I feel like you've had at least some.
Yes. Have I had some internet beef before? Well, there's a guy whose name I can't quite remember, but I do refer to him as Oatmeal Pie Face in my head, who is transgender, and his entire YouTube page is dedicated to uh, misinterpreting transgender content, making fun of it, and then using it to build a platform. And it's just completely unreasonable. He took one of my videos and like did a response to it and completely taking everything I said out of context and demonizing me. So I don't know what that was about. I stitched one of his videos and then he responded back in a YouTube video with my face. He put all this weird granularity on it to make it look like demonic. And he said, my narcissistic responder or something strange like that. And I'm like, boy, please get some Accutane.
Yeah. So with this kid, is it kind of like a Blair White grift that he's got going on? Just being mean.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000%. It's like you got to have something going on for yourself other than shitting on your entire community. I promise you, the leopards will eat your faces. If you cavort with the leopards eating people's faces party, they're going to come and eat your faces. So I just building an entire community around tearing people down. I'm just not with it. You know what I mean? You have to be, I think it's okay to criticize things. I think it's okay to have fun and talk about them, but your focus needs to be advocacy. You can't tear somebody down without pulling people up, you know? So I'm just not a fan of that sort of stuff. And at least Blair White is entertaining and funny.
So
She's nice to look at.
is it like the meme of the kids asking the mom like, "Oh, mom, we want Blair White," and then the mom goes, "We have Blair White at home," and then it's just this kid.
Absolutely. Just, we asked for Mastro's and we got McDonald's. That's what happened. You know what I mean? Like bottom tier quality, not funny, not charming, strange commentary. I'm like, what? I don't understand why people see in this person, but all the power to them.
Hmm. Well, I don't know. What can you do?
That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
What can you do?
What
Yeah,
can you do?
live and let live.
Yep, that's a great motto to live by. So, I have one more story that I wanted to cover before we get into the main segment.
Okay.
Did you see the fiasco with Planet Fitness.
Girl, oh my God. Yes, and I have a lot of different thoughts about it. What is your take on that entire thing?
Okay, so as you know, like I frequent the gym a lot. Like I am 100% gym girly and
Haven't noticed.
haven't noticed. If I saw that person, like when I walked into my locker room at my gym, like I would be startled and a little concerned. Like the photo that's going across the internet right now, it's just like a dude not making any effort to present feminine in like any type of way, shaving his face at the sink. Like if I saw that, I would be going right to the manager's desk, like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on here?" Like that.
Okay, so
Go on.
So what happened for anybody who's listening is there was a woman who went viral on social media because she was in the women's locker room and there was a transgender person there that was shaving and going along. She felt uncomfortable. She took a picture. She posted about it on social media. I think she was as respectful as she could be in that scenario. And basically her point was there should not be a man hanging around in a woman's locker room, basically. And of course, all the left is like attacking her, the right is supporting her. Planet Fitness said came out in support of the transgender woman, which is really nice, which I thought was really nice until I saw the picture and then I was horrified. And the lesson here is if you look like Buster Douglas in a wig or George Washington, then don't go into the women's locker room. Your priority needs to be the comfort of people around you, not how you feel on the inside. It looks crazy. It's bad optics again, and I absolutely hate it. I was traveling to Louisiana a few weeks ago and, I'm very realistic with myself. When I'm wearing boys' clothes and a hoodie and, I don't have my boobs done or anything like that yet, when I'm presenting without makeup and guiche in a public space, I'm androgynous and I look more masculine. And when I look more masculine, I go into the men's bathroom because I'm not trying to make anybody uncomfortable. Right. So I think as a transgender person, you have to be realistic with yourself and prioritize other people's comfort. Whereas with somebody like Dani completely passes face, voice, whatever. You don't want Dani in the men's bathroom. If somebody's in there with their kid, that's going to freak him out. Right. So there is the middle ground here, and I think that transgender person violated the middle ground, and now it's making national news and making us look crazy. End rant. Dani, what's your thoughts on that?
If you want to participate in society, and I think this is especially true for trans people, you need to abide by a social contract, right? And what's included in that social contract, if you want to access these female spaces, then you do need to make an attempt to present feminine. Like, no if, ands, or buts about it. You need to make an attempt. And, like, as far as the locker rooms go, like, please do not be walking around with your dick hanging out. Like, you should, like, under any circumstance, be taking your pants off if you're a pre op trans woman in the gym. Like, that would be making me uncomfortable too, again. Like, and you need to be tucking if you're wearing Gymshark leggings. Like, girl, we do not want to see those knuckles on the gym floor, please. Like, it's insane to me that, like, we even need to have this conversation.
Yeah. It is honestly disgusting to be able to do that in the first place. It makes everybody uncomfortable. There are hundreds of laws that are being levied against us right now. Like, have some common sense.
Mm.
Like, nobody wants to see a tail in the damn women's locker room. That is absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And just the fact that we even have to have this conversation is just insane. Like, please have more common sense. And I will say, most trans women have a lot of common sense. It's the few that don't, that listen to slogans like trans women are women and we should be able to do whatever we want, that like really are causing the most problems for us. And I really wish that they would stop.
Yeah, I think like just that type of attitude in general, right? Like apply that attitude to like any normal cis person and like uh pick whatever situation you want, right? Like it's going to be making a ton of people uncomfortable. So why is it okay when like trans women take on that attitude and try and force this shit on other people? It doesn't work that way, right? So yeah, please stop.
And let me just say this: trans women, stop being fucking babies and be able to face reality. It does not matter if you pass or do not pass for your self esteem. You should have just as much self esteem regardless. But if you pass, you have to treat the world differently than if you don't pass. And you have to be realistic about that. So I'm going to give y'all a little hack to help you figure out if you pass or not, because delusion is not going to work for us. Okay. So here's the hack. If you want to find out if you pass or not, just walk up to a kid, okay, respectfully, and ask the kid if am I a boy or a girl. And if they say boy and you're a trans woman, bitch, you better be going into the men's bathroom, honey. Now, if you don't have access to a kid or you don't want to be around kids, which is what I asked you to do earlier, do not be around kids, then put your face through an AI filter. If the AI filter makes you look like a man, then baby, you need to be in a men's bathroom. Sorry, I don't make any apologies for it other than what I just said, but don't do it. Be realistic. When I put my ass in the filter, if I'm wearing makeup, it's giving princess. If I'm not wearing makeup, it's giving Lucius Malfoy at this point, and I just accepted it. That's fine. That's fine. Just know how you affect the world, which is your responsibility anyway, and just do it, girl. Just do it. Don't feel bad about it. You don't have to feel bad about not passing. You just have to be considerate about the people around you. Sorry, I'm beating a dead horse at this point.
Yeah, take off the clown shoes, just put on your gym sneakers, go in the right locker room. We'll all be good. That's it. That's it.
So we're gonna go into would you rather
Okay.
questions, and so if anybody like who's listening, please participate. Please comment on this and tell me like what you would rather do. The first one, Dani, is would you rather have a big chin for the rest of your life or a big penis, and why?
Okay. And this is under the assumption that, oh, you said rest of my life, right? So no FFS, no bomb
Correct.
surgery.
No fixing.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm obviously choosing elephantitis of the penis. Like you can hide that shit. You can't hide a clocky chin. Like, come on. No amount of contour is gonna be fixing that chin.
Yeah, girl, yeah, I totally agree. I think a lot of people have dysphoria about their genitals, but I get it, but you don't have to show that to the world. So I would fully agree with that. And yeah, at least with your genitals, you can have fun. So, anyways, um, here's another one, the same sort of idea. Um, for the rest of your life, would you rather only be able to wear guy clothes or be able to wear whatever you want, but have an I'm trans tattoo visible at all times?
Okay, so it's the words "I'm trans," and it's like on your.
I'm transgender.
Okay. So like it's obviously no secret that like you and I are pretty out on social media. Like if they come across our Instagrams or TikToks, like they're gonna know that we're trans.
Yeah.
But like so with that being said, like I don't know, like I like the tattoos I have already. I don't want one like that. And I feel like I don't know, I wear guy clothes to the gym already, so I think I'm just gonna go men's clothes for the rest of my life.
You can kind of like, fit like pull it off as a bi queen. It might even help you attract some ladies.
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna go with the tattoo because, girl, the clothing I wear is just such an important part of making me feel feminine. I just have like an obsession with like bodycon and like an hourglass figure and stuff like that. And me being in men's clothes would be so stifling for me. So I'm gonna just get the I'm trans tattoo. I think I could deal with that.
Okay, where are you getting the tattoo?
Okay. Let's see. Let's see.
Nalia, hold on.
Okay, on this,
Before we get into that, like,
what'd you say, babe?
where are you putting the tattoo?
I probably like
You're gonna make it a chest tattoo?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna make it a chest tattoo. Yeah, I think
Okay.
right above my tits. Because if somebody's gonna be disrespectful to look at them while they're talking to me, then they'll also be able to clock me. It's
Yeah.
perfect. Billboard.
So like a little like Eve vibe with like the paw prints on the boobs.
Ex- exactly. And honestly, I'm the type of person I always disclose. And if somebody starts to engage with me sexually, I'm just gonna be like, you know. But as a petite biological woman, with a man, I gotta detract
Yeah.
from people as I need to.
Okay, that makes sense.
Um, okay, so here's another one. Um, would you rather experience dysphoria intensely, but have a supportive community, or rarely experience dysphoria but feel isolated from all of your friends and family? So, community is friends and family that you have right now.
So when you say isolated from my friends and family, is this like just pertaining to trans issues and then in them understanding like my journey in general, or is this like I don't get invited for Christmas or Fourth of July kind of thing?
I'm the way that I interpreted the question is, would you rather have a lot of experience like dysphoria and experience like a lot of love in your life, or would you rather have zero dysphoria but be completely alone and unloved by the people around you, basically?
Fuck. This is a tough.
Hard.
I think this is the toughest one so far. So like
Yeah.
on one hand, I just think like, okay, no dysphoria, like I can just get a dog, right? Like dogs are fantastic. And if you have like a friend like a friend like a lovable dog, like I don't think you really need much human interaction. But then on the other side, like love and caring for someone else, that's like one of the best feelings in the world, right? So, oh man, I am going to go with have intense dysphoria, but have a loving friends and family circle around me.
That this is a hard one for me too. And I think that I would choose the same thing, because I think the love is ultimately, it's like what we're here on this earth to do, is to love
Mhm.
other people. So I think we got to do that. And that's the reality that a lot of people are living. Like, I had intense dysphoria until I started living as myself. I still have dysphoria and I'm working on it and stuff like that. But I've dealt with the worst of it. And I've already had a lot of love and a lot of dysphoria. So it's like I know what it feels like. It's comfortable for me, even though I don't want either of those things.
Yeah. So that was a little bit more of a serious question. That's a heavy one.
That's a heavy one. Yeah. Let us see. Okay, we're gonna end on a light one.
Okay.
Um, so this one is would you rather never be able to wear makeup or never be able to tuck?
This one's easy. Never be able to talk. Like I love just like putting on eyeliner and mascara. Like I think that's just a simple look that can like for me at least like I think it makes it look 10 times better. Like instead of just like rolling out of bed. So and you can wear like I don't know, you can wear like baggy jeans like, and still make the outfit look cute. So yeah, I'm going being never being able to tuck again. That's my final answer.
Okay, that is too easy. I would choose the same thing. I'll give you a variation of that. Would you rather be able to have like never be able to get facial feminization or never be able to do anything with your body? You have to pick one. So the face passing or the body passing. Which one would you rather do?
So like no, my boob job is gone, right?
Boob job is gone. Any hip enhancement and stuff like that, butt
Oh, come
stuff is
on.
all gone.
That's 3 leg days a week for me. So, um,
Okay, fair, fair.
but like the boob job was a game changer. Like that that was a game changer for sure. Um, I'm going like I want that FFS. Like
Yeah,
that was probably like one of the best things to happen to me.
I agree. I think it it saves you from getting clocked like quite a bit and you feel very pretty and I don't my male body was still attractive and feminine in its own way. Like as somebody who's watched a lot of like RuPaul's Drag Race, I've always found like my twink body beautiful. So I fully agree. With that said, I'm gonna get a rack in a second. So I'm excited. Within a year from now, I'm trying to figure out how exactly I want to do it. But yeah, maybe we could make an entire episode out of talking about boobs and body stuff because I need some advice from you. So
Okay, we will definitely do that. All right, is that it for questions?
yes, I'm ready for advice needed from Reddit. So I'll pass the mic over to you.
Oh my god. Buckle in.
Okay.
Um, do you want to cover? I have two threads that I want to read to you. So first,
Okay.
trans women are biological women, or we can cover trans period. Anyone? Question mark.
Let's do that first one.
Trans women are biological women.
Yes.
Okay. So, Nalia, this one is titled Trans Women Are Biologically Female. Get used to it. Okay?
Here we go.
I got into a fight with a moron the other day who wanted to spew some transphobia, and I referenced something I learned in college. Thought I'd show it here. Transphobes love to use biologically male line all the time, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the number one most important organ to determining identity, trans women are biologically women, trans men are biologically men. To be clear, I'm not trying to make this a trans med thing. Transition how you want, present how you want, etc. But studies have shown that the brain structure of trans individuals is aligned with the brain structure of their identified gender. I essentially use the argument that trans people and intersex people are different and inverted it. The evidence shows that trans individuals are literally born in the wrong body. This has been shown from multiple studies. So if you're dealing with transphobes, you could, if you choose to present it this way, say that it's a birth defect and thus it should be recognized as such. I've found that when you phrase it like that, people are more likely to be less of an ass about it. And then this person um, also references a few PubMed articles. So
Okay. So if your brain structure 90% resembles a chimpanzee's, does that make you a chimpanzee? To utilize that brain structure conversation is completely asinine. It doesn't make any sense. Transgender women are not biological women. Period. How do I know that? Let me ask you a question, Dani, and you try to answer it, okay?
Okay.
Is it possible for a cisgender woman to become a transgender woman? The answer to that question is obviously not, because
Right.
the definition of a transgender woman is a biological male who is living life as a woman, okay? White chocolate isn't really chocolate, oat milk isn't really milk. It's the same sort of idea. Now, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, we're going to call it a duck. That's the whole point of this nomenclature. But we need to leave behind the idea that we are biological females, because we are not, and that is not important in this conversation. In fact, it's making us look crazy and delusional. So we are not biological women. We have some things in common with biological women that we can exploit. Like, for example, we can produce milk and we can, grow tits and all that stuff. That's all great, but we are different, and that's okay. Get used to it. Done.
Yeah, this is toxic validation at this point. This is toxic validation. Like, this person is on a crusade for affirmation. And it's like the argument doesn't make any sense. Like what you said, can a cisgender woman become a trans woman? Like, no, dude. Obviously not. So, yeah, there's obviously like a lot of work that I think this person needs to do to find validation and comfort with their journey and in other ways, because this isn't it.
Yeah. I fully agreed. We actually got a question on my on our Instagram, and I want to read it to you and get your thoughts on it.
Okay.
However, Dani, I want to be nice about this because I do like this person, and I think they're asking a genuine question. So we posted something on our Instagram, shared together, which was reacting to a conversation about the period, right? And so the discourse on here is trans women can't get menstruation or blood, but they have other symptoms, which I think is bullshit, by the way. But I'm going to ask you the question. I want to hear your response on it.
Okay.
So let me find it. She better not have deleted her message. Message. Oh God. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Hey, okay, are we gonna have to? Let me see. Okay, never mind. Cutting this out. I can't find the question. Hold on. Give me one more second. Okay, got it. Okay.
Okay.
This this may be a silly question, but some trans folks do get cramps on a monthly cycle, though they do not menstruate and do not have a uterus. Is there a specific term for these cramps other than cramps? I ask because I do not get them. I do know a few people on progesterone who do, and whose doctor told them they are period cramps. I also learned about this phenomenon during my queer studies in college.
They're not period cramps though. Like, period, end of story. They're not. Like,
Yeah.
it actually really does bother me when trans women say that they get PMS, because like premenstrual inherently refers to the phase preceding menstruation, right? So by
Yeah.
definition, experiencing premenstrual phase requires the biological capacity to menstruate, okay? Which can only happen when a person has a fully functioning female reproductive system. And what what also really bothers me is that there is zero, okay, goose egg empirical evidence that suggests that trans women get PMS. Everything out there,
Yeah.
like these comments that were blowing up on our video that we posted, everything is anecdotal evidence, right? So, can when you are on HRT, can you get symptoms similar to PMS? Totally. But Like, I just think to call it that is inaccurate, and I think it's also disrespectful as well. So that's my thought on it.
Yeah, so I want to give a shout out. So this was asked by Dusty, who I think is dope, and she lives in Phoenix as well. Her at is FAEVIRTU. She's awesome. I fully agree with Danny. I think that here's the real. I take hormones twice a day. I took 2 milligrams of estradiol twice a day and spironolactone twice a day. Now, if I miss a dose or in between the two doses, is there hormonal activity that might make me feel funny? Do I feel funny if I forget to take a few doses? The answer to those questions is yes, but that has nothing to do with menstruation because I don't menstruate. And so I question the intent of somebody who's calling it that. I think it's to relate to the biological female um, experience, but I think that comes from a lack of self esteem. Transgender women have our own interesting things that are happening with our bodies that we can talk about. We do not have to equate ourselves fully to biological women. There are hormone up and downs, but they're not cramps. And I want to believe that somebody's doctor told them that they were cramps, but I just can't imagine like a credible doctor referring to them as that because that's not what they are. So I can't speak to it beyond that, but my preference would be we just talk about all the interesting shit that's happening to our body and just not delude ourselves into thinking that we are experiencing a period. Like we're not.
Yeah, this goes back to the phrase I used earlier with toxic validation. Like, there's, I think there's some self esteem issues going on here where they are just trying to grasp like that closeness to being a biological woman. And like, it's okay. Like, I love this thing that you said a while back in one of your TikToks. Like, is a step parent still a parent, right? Like, you're not gonna call that step parent something else, right? You're gonna call them
Right.
mom or dad, or like in general refer to them as a parent. And like, it's okay that you're a trans woman. You don't need a period. You don't need to call yourself a biological woman. All of the other batshit crazy things that we see trans people do in general, right? So yeah, I all of it is from coming from self acceptance issues too. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think a
It
lot of trans women hold up women to this like really like weird pedestal, and it's like women are amazing. They do amazing things. They produce all the children. And I love women, all of those things. But it's 50% of the population, boo. Like you know to hold them in in that sort of regard is not respecting yourself all the way. Like we're different, we can be different, in God's eye we are all the same. Just chill on that. It's not I'm not trying to like equate myself to anybody. I'm just trying to genuinely express the person that I am. The person that I am likes, hair and nails and makeup and, all of those things. And so I'm just letting that out. That's all it is. Like I'm no less or worth more than anybody else. So,
yeah, that's a great way to end that question. Do we want to do one more?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna do a little roulette. I'm just going to pick a thread and
Okay.
scroll through. Okay, so
Yes, babe.
I'm gonna sort by top posts. And do we want to do this month or this year?
Let's do this year. I feel like there'll be better chances of getting some good quality that way.
Okay. Okay, I'm scrolling. Oh boy, this is Nalia. Are you ready for sex talk?
I'm excited.
Okay. Caption: You orgasm like a girl. My partner playfully teased me and said that with it with the intent of it being silly. I laughed, gave an extra moan, and went back to quivering for the next 20 minutes. A little background on this. I've never received anal in my life. Thought I would hate it, but it's obviously the only way to fulfill the desire of penetration until I get my surgery. I loved it. I was orgasming and moaning so much. Only a year and a couple months on HRT. I can't wait until surgery. Um, Top comment. Damn, that's hot AF. I hope I'm getting that one day. Okay, and I gotta read the second comment, okay?
Okay.
Suction cup a dildo to the wall and rock back and forth into it. Frog style on your legs. Best way, shaking, mind blowing because you don't need to stop. Dear God. I have to wait until everyone in the house leaves. Standing ram in the wall works also, but you need to stop or you'll fall over. Definitely gets you off though.
Listen, fly that freak flag high, girls, I guess. I don't know. If you like it, I love it. I like the pure expression of pleasure and excitement. And good luck on your SRS. I don't know how that feels like. I don't know if it's like a woman's orgasm, but you definitely have something in common with a gay boy's orgasm, you know? So, for whatever it's worth, there's a prostate back there. So, if you love it, it's because there's a prostate back there. So, if you love it, I love it. And God bless you.
So here's an interesting question that I have for you. Since you started medically transitioning, have you
Yeah.
noticed the way that you orgasm? Like, has it evolved over time?
It's a little bit more intense now, and I think part of the reason why is because I don't feel the need to like express myself sexually every day, like masturbation or like sleeping with somebody. Like my sex drive like died the first month that I was on hormones, and then it slowly came back. So, I definitely there are changes. I have to be more turned on than I have been in the past to reach that point. And like I notice like my skin is like more sensitive and like, my brain, how like a lot of cisgender women like respond more to the written word, like that'll turn them on, or stories will turn them on or something like that. I've
Mhm.
noticed a little bit of that in me because, you know, um, just the way that the hormones make your sexuality, it just dampens it down. So I have to be like turned on multiple ways now in order to experience that. But they're a little bit more intense. Um, so that's interesting. What about you?
Definitely more intense. I also have a super low sex drive. Like, it's pretty non-existent. I need to, like, I need to be with someone that I actually care about and like and enjoy spending time with. And there, it's not like to orgasm, like, okay, it's just orgasming. You need to have a mind body connection as well, for me at least.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
like in order to achieve and go all the way. Um, but it's definitely way more intense. Like I can feel it all throughout my body, where before it was more isolated. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, it's the intensity and the length, I would say, are the two biggest changes overall for me.
yeah. That's 1,000% true. God bless this queen who is having the time of her life, and the fellow boys that were on there experiencing it that too. But things change when you medically transition, for sure. A lot of things
Mhm.
change, and it is fair to say you do experience probably a higher degree of similarity with biological women than you did before. That's for sure. Now, to equate everything, we can't necessarily do that, but it's a different experience for sure.
Um, all right. Any final thoughts on today?
Any final thoughts on today? Once again, trans women are not predators. It is the same old suspect being the predator as possible. So keep our names out of your mouth. That's number one. Uh, get Drake on the watch list. That's number two. Trans women do not have periods, can't have periods, will never have PMS. Stop saying that. It's weird. Number three. And have some self esteem. Be proud of the person you are, transgender, cisgender, or other. Own your element and love it and wear it. So, those are my final thoughts. What about you?
Um, I want people to start sending in more questions for us to discuss. Like, I want this to be very community oriented. Because like
Yeah.
that video that we posted, like that was very divisive, very. So like,
Yeah.
obviously there's a wide range of opinions in the trans community. So I want to hear them all. So people, please write to us. We are at T Girls Pod on all social media platforms. So that's TEA.girls.pod. That's where you can find us. Send us unhinged Reddit threads, questions, send it all, topics that you want us to cover, please. And please go ahead and subscribe. With us being a new podcast, it would help us out so much. Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Leave us a comment too. So thank you for listening. And then, Nalia, do you want to plug your socials too?
Yep. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Tranalytics, and on YouTube, which I'm trying to grow at Transgender Insurance. We'll get that name changed eventually. And then you can find Danny Furmanek, right?
Yep, just my name.
Yeah, exactly. Her government name on there. Um, but awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining. We hope you have a great day. Leave us questions, and we will see you next week.